अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकार काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है. So today's class is about four exposition, char anuyog, also called char anuyog. So I made you a co-host, Hemani. You can share the, yeah. So we begin with the question, what is the greatest and noblest act of benevolence in the world? Okay. Benevolence means beneficence, kindness, welfare. So what is the greatest? The greatest act of benevolence is to guide ignorant soul on the path of liberation. Okay. So this is what would be the greatest act of benevolence, to guide ignorant souls. So soul is ignorant from when? From time immemorial. Okay. And once he becomes enlightened, he is on to the path of liberation and ultimately he achieves liberation. Okay. So to guide the ignorant soul on the path of liberation is the greatest act of benevolence. The Tirthankars, who are the leaders of this path of liberation, the Tirthankars, because through their preachings only we have got Jinvani. Okay. So the Tirthankars and its principal disciple Gandhars also perform this very act of benevolence. So not only Tirthankar and Gandhars, but also the Acharyas and Upadhyayas and Sadhus and scholars in that lineage also performs this very act of benevolence. आदरणीय पंडित बड़े पंडित जी पंडित रविंद्र जी आत्मन, I was listening to his live lecture one day and he said कि world's three greatest work or world's three greatest noble deed, which we also call as magnum opus, is practice of the pure soul. Second, worship of the three jewels, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. And the third and the final is glorification of Jainism. शुद्धात्मा की साधना, रत्नत्रय की आराधना, and Jain Dharma ki prabhavna. These are the three greatest work a soul can do in this universe. So first two are the causes and the third one is a effect. Okay. So if you want to propagate Jainism, if you want to glorify our religion, Jainism, if you want to spread the glory and greatness of Jainism, what you need to do? You need to do the first two steps. Practice of the pure soul, sadhana. Okay. So that is the prime function, prime importance, prime I would say responsibility of each and every soul, because without our self benefit we cannot benefit others. So there is a joke that charity begins at home. So it has to begin from us. Once we have mastered it, then we can share it with others. Okay. So it's a natural phenomena that when you go very deep into this, you always have this feeling to share with others and let others be also living a very happy life like us. Okay. So the practice of the pure soul would be the first step. And then of course, when you take shelter in your pure soul, that is the time you manifest right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. That is called worship of the three jewels or the three gems. And when you are into these two things, then the third thing is automatically that is following up is glorification of Jainism. So Tirthankars are the masters of this glorification of Jainism because they started this path, and through them only we have got this Jinvani. So what would be a Jinvani like? Next slide. The divine teaching of the Tirthankars from which this Jinvani has come, it has got three basic characteristics. First one is that it nourishes detachment, passionlessness, vitragata. Okay. The second is this Jinvani is free from internal contradictions. There are no contradictions. Things are being said from certain perspective. If you understand that perspective, there will be no contradictions. Contradiction only arises when you don't understand the perspective from where it is being said. And the third is that Jinvani is that it teaches the fundamental truth, the fundamental 7 elements. Okay. So any scripture who qualifies on 3 grounds, these 3 parameters, that is Jinvani. And that Jinvani is divided into 4 anuyogs called exposition. Now, what do you mean by exposition? So, expositions refer to the method or style of presentation or exposition. Next slide. An analytical approach to understanding a subject. So, if you want to decide on anything, what tools do you have at your disposal? Okay, you have only your analytical skill. Okay, you read the scriptures, you contemplate on it, analyze, okay, and then only you come to a conclusion or a decision. Okay, so this analytical approach is very, very important because with analytical approach only you can arrive at a correct decision. If you don't analyze, if you don't consider the different perspectives that are being said, then you will not be able to know the essence of the preachings. Okay, so analytical approach is the best approach for understanding anything. Now you know what is exposition. So it's basically a presentation method. Okay, so how many expositions are there? So there are 4 expositions. Okay, what is the purpose of these 4 exposition? Only one purpose: detachment, passionlessness, vitragata. Okay, and when you manifest vitragata, happiness is also along with that. Okay, so all are interconnected. So the essence of this 4 exposition is manifestation of detachment or passionlessness. What are these 4 expositions? The names are given. Prathmanuyog, exposition on stories and biographies of celebrated personality in Jainism, like the Tirthankars, the Gandhars. You know, there are 63 Shalaka Purush and many good characters who have done a great job in their lifetime. They are all forming a part of Pratman Yoga. We feel motivated by looking at their life uh, lifestyles and their decisions that they took under adverse circumstances. So Pratman Yoga is exposition on stories and biography. Similarly, we have Karnan Yoga. Karnan Yoga is an exposition on technical and mathematical aspects. Okay, we'll go into detail on each when it comes, so I'm not repeating it again here, just understanding the terminology of the 4 expositions. The third one is the Charnan Yoga, exposition on conduct and ethics. Okay, so conduct of a monk and conduct of an householder, and what kind of life you should lead, you know, that comes under ethics. And the final is the Dravyan Yoga, exposition on substance and metaphysics. So these are the 4 terminologies. Now this 4 exposition, I'll just have some general discussion on 4 exposition, not any particular exposition, but in general what this 4 exposition offers us. Okay, so this 4 exposition is the 4 pillars of Jaina preachings by the Tirthankars. Okay, so if you consider whatever preachings the Tirthankar has given, those preachings could be divided into 4 categories, and these 4 categories are these 4 exposition. If any one of these category is weak, then the whole palace of preaching will collapse. Okay, so these are the 4 foundations or pillars of Jain preachings. So Tirthankars give these preachings, and those preachings are in 4 methodology, okay, called exposition. Just as the cow has 4 milk producing organs called udder or teats, from whichever you try, milk will be extracted. Similarly, from this Mother Jinwani's exposition, 4 exposition, only passionlessness, detachment, vitrakta will only flow. Okay. Essence of all 4 exposition is only passionlessness. If we have balance of this 4 exposition in our life, then only we will be able to experience happiness, bliss. We will find solution to our each and every problem in our practical life, day-to-day life, in all situations. You will have reason to smile, right? You will never experience sorrow, miseries, nothing. So such a good preaching, which solves all kinds of problems in our life. Our life becomes so smooth and simple, like you will feel like you are floating. Okay. Earlier we used to get stuck up, someone would say something and the whole day we would ponder over that matter only, right? But now somebody says something, next moment you are good, because you know how to wipe out the negativity, how to bring in the positivity. All these 4 expositions we will study one by one, and you will realize that everywhere they are advocating positiveness, positiveness, positiveness. You can always look at a glass half filled with water, and you can also say that it is half empty or it is half full. It depends on the way you look at it, right? So the way you look at it, the same way you manifest. Okay, so if you look at the positive aspects, you manifest positivity. Okay, so this 4 expositions offers us this opportunity to be positive in our life, in whatever we do, in whatever situations we are, in whatever decisions we take. We will always have an edge over others. Our decisions will always be bang on target. So that's a very unique thing. As you experience this, as you practice this, you will realize that there could be nothing better than this. Okay, so from that perspective, this chapter is very important. One of my favorite chapters or topic, you can say. All the time when you connect all these 4 expositions in a particular event, you would see that there is no problem at all. Because when we look at from one exposition, we feel that there is a problem. But when you look from 4 expositions, there is no problem. I'll give you an example. If you look Taj Mahal from one angle, what do you see? Maybe from the front side, if you see, you will see only the front. But if you see from all 4 angles, you will have a better understanding of the Taj Mahal. You will able to appreciate the artistic qualities that it possesses, right? You will also be able to uh, the technicalities of it, right? So any event, if you apply this 4 exposition in that event, then you will always be in a better position to take decisions. You will be in a better position to manifest passionlessness. Now, I'll give you an example from Pratman Yoga. Lakshman, who killed Ravan? You know Ravan? Who killed Ravan? So one answer could be Lakshman killed Ravan. Second answer could be his lifespan determining karma, Ayu karma, was over. Then the third could be uh, his mistake of kidnapping Sita costed him his life. And the fourth reason could be he didn't die. It was just reflecting on his knowledge screen. All these events were reflecting on his knowledge screen. The soul never dies and soul never gets birth. It is eternal. Okay. So four ways of looking at the same event, right? Now, supposing if you are looking at from one angle only, right? Then your mind is so narrow, right? You cannot think of anything else. Lakshman only killed Ravan. But when you say that, oh, his age was also over, his lifespan was over. So now you are not looking at Lakshman as the culprit or maybe something he has done wrong, And then his present mistakes also you are realizing. So you are justifying what has happened, right? And at the same time, from the perspective of the Ravan's soul, nothing has happened. Only the events has unfolded in his knowledge screen. So all these four put together brings to you to such a situation where you are not manifesting attachments nor aversions. You are not praising Lakshman, you are not blaming Ravan because the events had unfolded independently. Nobody is a doer of another thing, right? So it also connects to our principles also, okay? Similarly, if we'll take another example that how the liberation would happen if you go and ask all these four exposition. So the Charnan Yoga will say that by adopting monkhood, you will get liberated because whoever got liberated, they adopted monkhood. We cannot go to liberation by being a householder, right? We have to renounce everything. We have to become a monk, and the only a monk could get liberated. So Charnan Yoga said by adopting monkhood. Karnan Yoga said by conquering all the karmas, 8 karmas and its divisions, subdivisions, 148 karmas. Dravyan Yoga would say by remaining engrossed in the self. And the Pratman Yoga would say that Tirthankar, Ganadhars, and other great personalities, they renounced sensual pleasures, mundane life, this body, initiated into monkhood, manifested 3 jewels, destroyed all the 8 karmas, and attained liberation. So you see, when you apply this 4 exposition into any your day-to-day life event, it creates a magic. You feel that life is so simple. There is no problem at all. Anywhere there is no problem. Whatever we see as a problem is just because of our past understanding, wrong understanding, and because of our not right knowledge. Okay, we don't see things in the right perspective. So this is all about the general description of 4 exposition. Now we will be looking at one exposition at a time and see what are the specialities, what is their methodology, and what are their key features, and when should we read those scriptures. So next slide. Pratman Yoga is the first one that we start with. Pratman Yoga, as you know, is exposition on stories and biographies. The subject matter is through stories of great beings like the Trashat Salaka Purus. It explains the diversity of worldly existence. Sita, Ram, Chandraji, and Ravan. So Ravan kidnapped Sita, and Ram brought back Sita from Ravan's clutches, and ultimately Ravan was killed. So the same Sita, in his next birth, she was in the 16th heaven, and he was there, Prati Indra. Okay. From there he comes down and he tries to break Ravan's, not Ravan's, Ram's attention. Ram was on meditation and Sita tried to disturb him. uh, inflict hardship on him. Okay. And the same Sita, Ravan was in the third hell. Okay. So the same Sita, not in Sita's, he was a Prati Indra now. So same Prati Indra went to the third hell where Ravan was there to preach him. Okay. To preach him Jainism. So you see the diversity of worldly existence. Somebody maybe today your wife, children, next birth it could be something else. We all have some past connections with each other. That's why we are together here, right? So there are so much of diversities and surprises in this worldly existence. The Pratman Yoga depicts all this. The second is the results of merit and demerit or sin. Okay, punya and pap. So the famous story of Kuntkunda Acharya Dev. In the previous birth, Kuntkunda Acharya Dev was a cow keeper. Okay, and one day while he was on his duty, he saw a forest where all the trees were burnt. Only one tree was not burnt, and he was surprised. He went near to that tree and he saw that there was a scripture, Jinvani, over there in that tree. And he realized that so this tree didn't burn just because this Jinvani is here. And he realized the importance of this, but he didn't understand anything because he was a cow keeper. So he was not educated. He could not read, but he thought that this is something very important. He took it to his home and kept it at a very safe, pious place. And later on, when he got in touch with a monk, he brought that scripture and presented it to the monk. Only because of this act, in the next birth, he became Kunkunda Acharya. So you see, all our activities that we do in our day-to-day life, in our previous life, all brings, all have, all is a cause of bondage of karmas, whether it is auspicious or inauspicious, depending on the acts that you do, and then it always comes into fruition. So, Pratman Yoga describes all this. The same soul was here, and then he went to the there, and from there he went to there. So, this transmigratory journey also uh, uh, brings in us the understanding that the soul's journey continues. Soul never dies. Okay. The last one is the conduct of great personalities like Nemi Kumar. Nemi Kumar was about to get married with Rajul, and they were going into the procession for the marriage. Okay. And he listened to the voices of animals weeping, wailing, or crying, right? And he's immediately in him aroused the feeling of detachment. Okay. And he renounced all this worldly life and he became a monk, and then he went on to become Tirthankar. Okay. So this conduct of great personalities motivate us to take strong decisions in our day-to-day life. And the results also shows that how great that decisions were. What are the key features? Serves as illustrative examples to understand philosophical truths. Okay, all the principles that we see that are there in Jainism, all these principles act as illustrative examples in great personalities' life. If you see, they applied those principles and they came out with flying colors in those situations. Okay. The second feature is deals with worldly tangible narratives. Okay. So those are very gross statement which general people can understand, general people can relate to, general people can see and learn. So of course there are some gross tangible narratives in this exposition. Okay. The third one is it is motivational in nature and teaches patience. Okay. Anjana. Anjana waited for 22 years for the return of his husband, Pavan Kumar, Hanumanji's father and mother. Okay. So, who in today's time, who will wait for 22 years? right? So this Pratman Yoga teaches us patience, and patience pays, always pays. So from Pratman Yoga, we learn all these traits and apply in our life, and we also become happy. Then the last one is encourages perseverance. What that means? Not to lose courage. Remain steadfast in adversities. Be firm in your decision. Okay? Sometimes it take time, but nevertheless, it always happens. Believe in yourself. We always say believe in yourself. So this is called believe in yourself. Okay? You have to be patient. You have to be, you have not to lose courage. Okay? So this is a very great motivational factor for all of us. So this is all about Pratman Yoga. When should it be read? During times of depression or mental stress. Nothing coming to your mind. Pick up a scripture on Pratman Yoga, and within a few minutes you will be so happy. Oh, this has happened with many people. I'm not the first one. It's happening in my life. Many people have undergone this kind of problems. And what they did, they never lose faith in themselves. They never lose faith in Dev Shastra Guru. And they studied scriptures in those situations. And that was a source of happiness for all of them. And this time is not going to last for long. It's going to go. Okay. So all this understanding, when you read the scriptures in Pratman Yoga stories, every now and then there is a motivational, there is some good thoughts that you get from there. And if you apply it into your day-to-day life situations, you come out of depression. The chief cause of depression is not accepting the truth, not accepting the karmic afflictions. There is a rise of karma that we only have bound, and that is coming into rise. So what is there in experiencing sorrow? Nothing. Just practice discriminative knowledge and you will be good in those situations. Okay. So during times of depression, at that time, you will not be able to study Dravyan Yoga or Charnan Yoga or Karnan Yoga. So Pratman Yoga will help you to come out of those situations, because all great personalities have undergone. Sita has gone many such situation in her life. 3 times she has to go to jungle, you know. So, but she didn't lose hope, and everything was fine. What should one do after reading Pratman Yoga? See, all the essence of all four exposition is detachment. Okay, passionlessness. So you have to do that. Develop detachment, study the truth, and learn from it. Okay, everyone has ups and downs in their life, and these stories help us in a great way in navigating those situations. What else it's good for? It emphasizes praise and criticism. Okay, so Pratman Yuga is full of praises. He did that, he did this, he acted smart in such situations, and everywhere there is an appreciation of good things that character has done, and if he has done some wrong things, then that is also criticized. So we have to take this as our example. It's not happened to us, but we can always get into the footsteps of those people, and you can always imagine what would I have done if Anjana's husband was out for 22 years. If I would have been in Anjana's place, what would I have done? And we would have taken divorce in 6 months, not 22 years, 6 months. But she waited, and she uh, endured so many afflictions that came along her way. And ultimately, she was the winner. Some of the examples of Pratman Yoga are Padma Puran, Harivansh Puran, 24 Tirthankar Purans, etc. Now, next is Karnan Yoga. Exposition on technical and mathematical aspects. Okay, there are many formulas used in Karnan Yoga. There are so many calculations there. Karan itself means Ganit. Ganit means mathematics or calculations. Okay. So Karnani Yoga is a subject on technical and mathematical aspect. What is the subject matter? Classification of soul's Gunasthan. Gunasthan is 14 spiritual stages of development. Okay. Then there are 14 Marganasthans. These are places of quest for a soul, where a soul could be available. So these 14 Marganasthans are all at the same time, but 14 Gunasthans are only one at a time. Okay, you will be in one Gunasthan at a time. Okay, and then there are divisions and subdivisions of Jivas, that is called Jiv Samas. Okay, the second important part of Karnan Yoga is the karma theory. The whole karma theory is Karnan Yoga only. Okay, so 8 types of karma, their subtypes, 148 karmas, and then there are 10 states of karmas. All these we are going to study in the 6th chapter about the karma theory. Okay, then fruits of material karma, psychic karma, and quasi karma. Material karma is dravya karma, psychic karma is bhav karma, and quasi karma is no karma. Okay, so what are the fruits of these? Then we have cosmology, very important aspect of Karnan Yoga. 16 heaven, then 7 hell, 4 destinies, 8.4 million life forms, cycles of existence, 5 types of cycles of existence. Okay, all these form a part of cosmology, which all comes under Karnanu Yoga. What are the key features? Deals with subtle concept. Pratmani Yoga was dealing in gross concepts, so this deals with subtle concepts understood through omniscience. We cannot comprehend it. It's only the omniscience knowledge, these small, subtle things have come. Okay. So Karnan Yoga explains all things. Take the example of karma. Karma. We cannot see karma, or the karma is a matter substance. But it is so subtle that with our limited knowledge of sensory and scriptural knowledge, we cannot know, we cannot comprehend the karma. We cannot see the karma, although it is a matter substance. Okay. So this deals with very subtle concepts. This could be only understood on the basis of the omniscience who has written, from whom this Jinvani has come. So we read the scriptures, and from that only we have to understand and accept. We cannot prove it because they are so subtle. Okay. The second is encourage avoidance of sin by explaining karmic consequences. So when you know, if you do this activity, you will end up in hell. So automatically you will refrain from it. Okay. So that's the second feature. When should it be read? When one develops pride in knowledge. I am the smartest, I am the most intelligent, I can comprehend things better than others. My viewpoint is always different from others. I'm very creative, right? So when you develop such pride, you read Karnan Yoga, because there all the description is according to the omniscience. And just looking at the subtleness of the explanation, you can very well see what level of knowledge you have. So your pride will go away. Omniscience is the ultimate, right? So this should be read when you feel that you are the most intelligent. Okay. Some of the important principles. No state of modification ever contradicts the stages of spiritual development. Okay. So the stage in which you are, your manifestations, your modifications will be of that level only. It may not that happen that you are a monk and you will have manifestations according to a householder. No, that never happens. If you are in the 4th stage, it will be like 4th stage. If you are in a 7th stage, it will be like 7th stage. Not a single modification ever contradicts this spiritual stage. So by understanding the gunasthans of different 14 levels of gunasthan, you know that what level, what is possible, what can be done and what cannot be done. And based on that, you can take decisions and you can adapt best practices, what is possible at that level. Okay. Then the next comes is misuse of merit leads to its destruction. So we are all have got, we have done some good deeds in our past life. That's why we have got a human life, which is so rare, 84 lakh species, out of which getting a human life is very, very rare. Okay. So we have got this human life because of our past good deeds and the merits that we the bondage of merits that we had done earlier. Okay. And if we don't utilize it in the right way for our own welfare, then it will lead to its destruction. Our merit will get reduced. Okay. And if we use it in the right way, right sense, according to Jinwani, then it will increase. In the next birth, you will end up becoming a Chakravarti, Tirthankar. All these posts are for the right believer. Okay. So if you are looking at those posts, then you manifest right belief now. And this is what we can all do. We may not become a monk in this life, but we can always have right belief that at a household level that can be done, because it's at the fourth stage, right? Then what is the next important principle? No karma has the inherent power to make the soul unhappy. No karma. Okay. In Karnan Yoga, generally people uh, explain karma theory in such a way that we all get fearful, right? But here he says that no karma has the inherent power to make the soul unhappy. So if you are the soul, there is no power in this universe who can make you unhappy. Okay. They can harm you in any way. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Even if all the karmas come together right now in this moment, then also they will not be able to do anything to the pure soul, which is I am myself. Okay. So that much power you will develop once you understand all these terminologies and all these principles. You will have that much confidence that let all the karmas come. I am ready to face it, because I know the karma doesn't enter the soul and I am the soul. So it's not going to affect me in any way. In those situations, I will remain untouched, uninfluenced. Nobody can influence me. Okay. So this is the kind of power that we get by reading Karnan Yoga. Karnan Yoga also teaches us not to see faults in others. Okay. Why you are suffering? Because of my brother, because of my spouse, because of my children. No, it's your past karma that has come into fruition. They are innocent. Okay. So that's a great takeaway from this Karnan Yoga. Examples are Gomatsar Jeev Kand, Gomatsar Karva Kand, Triloksar, Davla, Jai Davla, and many scriptures are there. Our life is too short, but the scriptures are endless. Okay. Next, Charnan Yoga. Yes. Exposition on conduct and ethics. See, Charnan Yoga will explain us that majorly there are two categories of conduct. One is at the monk level and other is at the householder level. Okay. So the householder only graduates to become a monk by learning these principles, by practicing austerities and observing the initially the minor woes and then getting into more major woes and all. Okay. Now we are into Charnan Yoga, Himali. Yeah, thank you. So exposition on conduct and ethics. What is the subject matter? Conduct of householders and monks explained in a practical manner. When we say explained in a practical manner, that which we can connect to, that which we can relate to. Okay. There is always something we can adapt. We can uh, rise from our position by adapting those techniques. Okay. So Charnan Yoga would prescribe how to behave in certain situations, right? The second is through moral teachings and ethical text, seekers are encouraged to abandon sinful acts and get into religious acts. Now, moral teachings are very, very important. If you are not ethical in life, forget understanding the Jinwani. You may read, you may memorize, but you will never be able to apply it in your day-to-day life. Okay, you need a high level of ethics. When Srimad Rajchandra ji was asked what should be the integrity of a Jain person like, then he said, more than a Supreme Court judge, a Jain person should be more than a Supreme Court judge. Supreme Court judge is, of course, very famous for their integrity, honesty, and that's why they are made those judges. So they are very good at justice. But a Jain should be more than a Supreme Court judge. Okay. There is another verse from Srimad Rajchandra ji's Brahmacharya, about Brahmacharya. Patra vina vastu na rahe patre atmik gyan. What it means? Spirituality cannot abide without the deserved vessel, that is the receiver. Okay. Spiritual knowledge resides in a deserving vessel. So we have to be deserving. We have to be eligible for this kind of preachings, and then only we will be able to understand. We have seen people studying this Jinvani since 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but still uh, they are acting deceitfully, they are manifesting pride. you know uh, the main problem is with the ethics. You have to be very high on ethics to understand this Jinvani. Not only understand, but apply in your day-to-day life and get some benefit out of it. Okay. So our life has to be very simple, honest. Honesty is the best policy. So I have seen those people who are simple, honest, they automatically get good things in life. Okay. And by and large, people feel that if you don't apply deceitfulness in business, we will not succeed. But I will say other way around. If you are doing wrong activities in business like evading taxes, income tax, and GST and whatnot, okay, then you will not get whatever you are supposed to get also. Because whatever we earn right now, it is because of our past punya karma. Okay. And by indulging in such unlawful activity, you are reducing your punya and increasing your pap. Okay. You are reducing your merits and increasing your demerits. So how it is going to help you? Okay. So we have to be very ethical. That is the in the present day, it's my personal opinion, the majority of the problem is that the religion is very simple to manifest, very simple to understand. But because of our this past impressions, not being ethical in our life, always trying to find ways and means to cheat somebody, to play politics, favor someone, nepotism, whatnot. So that makes you uh, that that doesn't enable you to manifest religion in your life. Okay. So you should have a very good life. Your behavior should be very good. Now considering uh, that lion's milk, for uh, preserving a lion's milk, you have to have the vessel of gold. If you put it in steel, it will get a dent and it will come out. Steel vessel cannot hold lion's milk. Okay. It is only a golden vessel that can hold lion's milk. Similarly, we are looking to get liberated. So how should be our life? It should be on high on ethics. Okay. Supposing I have a 5 crore diamond. Okay. Supposing you go to a jewelry shop to buy a 5 crore diamond. So how would be the packing? They will put you in a polythene bag and give. Packing also would be very great. Maybe 25,000, 50,000, because it's a 5 crore diamond, right? So similarly, if we want to become God, our outer packing, okay, our outer behavior, outer ethics, outer life should also be of highest standard. Okay. In earlier times, this was not a problem because people were very simple and ethical. If they incurred losses, they will sell their properties and pay off the debts. But nowadays, if people get into problems, they don't pay up, and they consider they file a bankruptcy, you know. So all these are loopholes that they take advantage of, but ultimately that person is the loser. Nobody has benefited by doing anything wrong. So I think one of the uh, best understanding that Charnan Yoga gives us, that you have to be very, very high on ethics. Unless and until all our efforts will be futile. We would read, we would understand, we would memorize also, but we will not be able to put into use in our day-to-day life any of the principles. Okay. So that's what it's written. Make one spiritually eligible. Okay. So Charnan Yoga does this. Patrata, eligibility. Okay. Charnan Yoga in one line. So simple. Do as much as you can with the full effort. What is possible at your level, you do. You can say that I cannot go to Mandir every day. It's very far from my place. Half an hour, 1 hour. Okay. I go only on weekends. Good. But what you can do? You can change your residence. You have to find ways, you know. And if you have that intention in your mind, definitely things will unfold in your life in that way that your home will be near the temple. So that every day you can go to the temple, have darshan, have abhishek, have puja, have swadhyay, and live a very good spiritual life. Okay. So do as much as you can with full effort. For what you cannot do, maintain the intention and plan accordingly, and applaud those who are doing it. Okay. If you are not able to do it, no problem. But at least you can applaud if others are doing it. Because the principle says that krut karit anumodna. All bears equal fruit. So even if we are not able to do it, only by applauding, we will get the same fruit as of doing. Okay. So this is a very powerful statement from Charnan Yoga. We should apply in our life. Whatever is possible, you go that extra mile, struggle. Automatically your eligibility will improve. Your purity will improve. You will get good connections, good associations that will propel you to go deeper into your spiritual understanding. Okay. So the whole scenario changes if you adopt this practice of Charnan Yoga. Okay. What is the role? Helps identifies one's own mistake. This is very, very important. We never know why something failed, but Charnan Yoga will tell us where we did the mistakes. Okay. So from that perspective, Charnan Yoga is very important because this is where we need to put the efforts intentionally, buddhi purvak. Okay. Mm, it explains the instrumental cause and effect, the relationship between physical actions and inner dispositions. Okay. So each and every actions precedes a disposition. Okay. So first the disposition emerges in the mind and then the action takes place. Okay. So this relationship is best depicted by Charnan Yoga. Okay. If your outer life is non-violent, okay, that means your passion levels are very low. Okay. That's why you are able to practice non-violence, all the minor woes, major woes, whatever it could be. Okay. So all the activities that complements the path of liberation from mind, speech and body constitutes Charnan Yoga. Okay. Examples are Ratnakaran Sravakachar, exclusively for the Sravak, householders. Okay. Then we have Purshat Siddhi Upai, that is also a Sravakachar. Purshat Siddhi Upai, of course, is written by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. Ratnakaran Sravakachar is written by Saman Bhadra Acharya Dev. Astpaud is written by Kunkund Acharya Dev. Mulachar is also written by Kunkund Acharya Dev. Bhagavati Aradhana is written by Acharya Shivai, I think it's Shivai. I'm not sure, I will check it. Okay. So all these are very great scriptures on Charnan Yoga. So conclusion, Charnan Yoga points out our mistakes where we went wrong and also offers us remedy from that perspective. Okay. Now we will move on to Dravyan Yoga, the last of the four exposition on substance and metaphysics. Okay. So, six substances, subject matter is six substances, seven fundamental elements, distinction between self and non-self, that is Bhed Vigyan, and the method of self-realization. So, our objective is to realize ourself, okay, and that is only being solved by Dravyan Yoga, okay. All three expositions will bring you up to Dravyan Yoga. And Dravyan Yoga performs the final action of the science of discrimination. Okay. And that is where you realize yourself. So we can say among the four exposition, Dravyan Yoga is the most important. But no, Proddermalji will say no, that will coming up in the next slide. Okay. After one slide, what we should read first. So it is not Dravyan Yoga, okay? That we'll discuss later on. Let's finish this one. So subject matter is six substance, seven fundamental elements. Distinctions between self and non-self and method of self-realization. Key features. Based on spiritual, no, before that we will take core insights. What is the core insights? Every substance, attribute and mode is independent. So one substance is independent of another substance, one attribute is independent of another attribute, and one mode or modification is independent of another modification. Okay. So there could not be relations between two substances, true attributes and true modification. Each is independent. Okay. So that is the main part of Dravyan Yoga. If you understand the nature of substance, attributes and modification very clearly, your 90% of the work is done. And that is our fourth chapter. Okay. We will study in detail substance, attributes and modification. Okay. So that will come later on. The second is teaches how to remain calm, detached and joyful in all situations. By applying this uh, practice of discriminative knowledge, you can be calm, detached, and joyful in all situations. Come what may, you are winner all the way. Nobody is there to disturb you. Nobody is there can inflict pain, sorrow in you. It is only your fault if you forget your own nature, then you will suffer. But if you know who you are, what is your role, what you can do, what you cannot do, if you have clarity about yourself, then you will be able to remain calm, detached, and joyful in all situations. Key features based on spiritual and scriptures of law, Nyay, law. So we have very good scriptures on law in Jainism. Okay. And that forms part of Dravyan Yoga. There are logics given there, reasoning, uses reasoning, logic, valid knowledge and viewpoints that lead to decision making power. That is very important. It is the decision making power that makes all the difference, nothing else. Okay. So if you have very strong decision making power based on the analysis that you do, you will be making very fast progress in the path of liberation. You may not have much knowledge about the scriptures, but if you are able to apply this practically and if you have a very strong decision making power, then you will be progressing very fast. Okay. You could get liberated in the next birth right now. From this birth, you go to the next birth in the Mahavidya Kshetra, and there you realize yourself and get liberated in the same birth. That could be so fast. Okay. So Dravyan Yoga is very important. If you understand it very nicely, you will be able to practice the discriminative knowledge in all situations. and that's give you a advantage in all situations because you will be happy always. Provides understanding of the structure of the universe and nature of things. Oh, nature of things, Vastu Vyavastha and Vishwa Vyavastha. So provides understanding of the structure of the universe, that is Vishwa Vyavastha, six substance, all substance functioning independently of one another, no one requires help of another, each is incomplete in itself. Okay, all these about Vishwa Vyavastha. And what is Vastu Vyavastha? Nature of things, nature of reality. Okay, so you have to time and again connect to this. In the last week also we discussed this, that you have to compare it with Vastu Vyavastha. What Vastu Vyavastha says and what is your belief. If you put both things in perspective, you will be able to realize your mistake. Okay, so that is also very important. When should it be read? When seeking bliss, discrimination, and self-realization. Because the moment you get into Dravyan Yoga, you are very near to getting into self-realization. Okay, so when you want to experience yourself, when you want to realize happiness, when you want to practice discriminative knowledge, Dravyan Yoga will come handy to you. Okay, examples of scriptures of Dravyan Yoga, Samaisar, that we have already started last week. Tomorrow is the second class. Those who want to join, it's in Hindi of course, but you will be able to understand simple. Then we have Pravachansar. Samaisar is also written by Kunkundacharya Dev. Pravachansar is also written by Kunkundacharya Dev. Panchastika is also written by Kunkundacharya Dev. Then we have Dravya Sangra, Aptamimansa, Parmatam Prakash, many scriptures in Dravyan Yoga. It is the core of Jainism. Okay. So in conclusion, Dravyan Yoga helps in practicing discriminative knowledge, and from Dravyan Yoga, if we see, all things are object of our knowledge. Okay. Gyan ka gne, nothing else. It just reflects on our knowledge screen and nothing else. Okay. So when you want to apply Dravyan Yoga anywhere, this will become very useful. Okay. Every object is just an object of our knowledge. Everything is just an object of our knowledge. It is reflecting on our knowledge screen, and it is only reflecting, it's not coming to us. Okay. So that thing you need to understand. Okay, this is all for Dravyan Yoga. We will have some practical applications. Then you will understand better all the four exposition together. Okay. So when all four anuyogs are applied to any situation, we already have seen the examples of Ravan's killing, then Taj Mahal, and then liberation. Okay, these three examples we applied initially. Now we will see some other examples also, and I will ask you, if you are able to try it, it will be very good. When first we see what happens when we apply all four anuyogs in any particular situations. Okay, so when all four anuyogs are applied to any situation, decisions becomes correct. Otherwise, it's a biased decision. Okay, now here the decision becomes correct. Life becomes balanced. Okay, equanimity, detachment, and joy arise. Okay, with this balance, you are able to really enjoy that moment, and that is also the moment where you practice detachment. No attachment, no aversions, but only detachment. Okay, enthusiasm is maintained. Okay, when you apply for exposition, there is no looking back. You are always on toe, you are always alert, you are always enthusiastic to go that extra mile. Okay, from outside it looks a struggle, but when you actually start doing it, there is no struggle. It's all very easy. Step by step, you will start getting ahead. Okay, the last one is one remains stress free. So when you apply for exposition, you are not blaming others, you are You know your fault, so you will not repeat that fault. Okay, and you know that all these are objects of my knowledge and nothing else, no relation with these events. Okay, so automatically you will remain stress free, happy, relaxed. Okay, you will really enjoy your life. Now we'll see some of the examples of situations. Okay, supposing you are doing a business and you incur a loss, or uh, somebody frauded you. Okay, you lost money because of somebody did a fraud to you. You were expecting some quality and it gave some inferior quality, and he's not ready to replace and all. So it's a kind of fraud, you can say, right? So how do you apply for expositions in this? If anyone can try, you can raise your hand, or you can just unmute and start talking. I would appreciate if any would try. I know I will help you out, but if you are able to try, Esha, you can try.
Yeah, I can try.
Very good.
Um,
Yeah,
so so I guess one is that it's your past,
karma.
your past karma that has come to fruition.
So Karnan Yoga is settled. Karnan Yoga is settled.
Okay. So that is karuna. All right.
Hmm.
Um, for Dravyanu that one I'm not sure actually.
Charnan Yoga,
Charna it could be um maybe it was something in your behavior
good.
that, but there
The
is no cause and effect, right? So I'm confused with that. I don't
Charnan
know.
Yoga will point out your mistakes. You didn't do due diligence. You should have taken
Ah,
references.
correct,
You got
correct.
into greed. So all
Right.
these uh,
Correct.
Charnan Yoga will tell us. Okay. Then
Correct. So your
Dravyan Yoga, you are not sure. Pratman Yoga,
yes. But Prathamano again, I feel like it's connected to Karuna Yoga. I mean, it's your past
it connected to
karma.
all four. We cannot we cannot have only one reason. If you apply four, then only you
Yeah.
will get a balance. Otherwise, Karnan Yoga is very easy to apply. My past deeds, so that's
Ah.
end. But what went in your past deeds, Charnan Yoga will tell, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Pratman Yoga will give you examples wherein, like Pandava and Kaurav, there was a fraud, like cheating in between, and Sita also experienced many times uh, deceitfulness in her life. So
Right.
Pratman Yugs are full of stories of dhokha, like that,
Correct.
frauds and everything. So this is Pratman Yoga is done, Karnan Yoga is done, Charnan Yoga is also done, Dravyan Yoga. Yeah, now Dravyan Yoga will tell you
Mm.
to practice discriminative knowledge here, that soul has not lost anything, right?
Mm.
There is no loss to the soul. For soul, it is just an object of knowledge. It's just reflecting in the knowledge screen. Soul has nothing to do. Soul is
Right.
never at a loss, right?
Right. Right.
So
So actually, you haven't lost anything.
yeah, you
That's
haven't
what.
lost. So it's just such a nice,
Mm.
you can say, if you relate these four things together in the same situation, although you have incurred a loss of say 50 lakhs, but you are
Yeah.
relaxed. You are relaxed because you know that if my punya would be there, I will earn more. If it is not there, then anyway it has to go. So it has gone, right?
Right. Right.
Karna Yoga will say you have cheated that person in your past life. So he has come and cheated you. So
Right.
things are settled now, right? Pratman
Correct.
Yoga will give you certain examples that it has happened with all people. Not you are not the first one that's happening. And Charnan Yoga
Mm.
will always tell you what mistakes did you do, right?
Right.
So it's a great learning. Now balancing all these four will help you to take correct decisions. Okay.
Mm.
Uh, what has been done is done, but next time you will be more alert. Your decisions would be very correct. Okay. Life becomes balanced, equanimity, detachment, joy arise. You are not blaming anything, enthusiasm is maintained. Everything what we just saw here can be applicable to all these examples. Now, one more example, failure in exam. Anyone else would like to try? Once you practice, no, you will open up and you will apply in your day-to-day life, and you will find there is no reason to be
I
experiencing
would like
sore.
to try, sir.
Yeah, very good.
Chetna.
Yeah, Chetna, good.
Failure in examination. The first one is Parmanuyok, where there are lot of stories. He has fallen for something, or उसने failure को देखा है. He's seen some failure. So
Hmm.
from that you can learn that everyone is going through it.
Okay. But
And
how
Karmanuyok
Karnan Yog
is
you can connect to that? Karnan Yog,
Karmanuyok is your karma because you haven't
you have to
anything.
say about karma, right? It is our
Yes, you
past
haven't.
karma, right?
Yeah, we haven't. And contact is we haven't worked for it.
Yes, very good.
And
Preparations.
yes, there's no preparation.
Ah,
And Dravyanu Yog is it is not you who's
very good, very good, excellent. Nothing has happened to the soul. Okay,
yes,
soul is complete in itself all the time. Soul never fails. Soul
yeah,
only knows, right? And
yeah.
Pratmanyo?
Pratman Yog, you can say the story of Mahavesh Swami, where
Huh?
he went to the school, and there were teachers who asked the Indra had come and asked them questions, but the Guru was not able to tell the answers. So it
Hmm.
was their failure. So it is not just you who's been failed once. Even
Hmm.
big gurus like him do fail. So it is
Very,
not you.
very good, very good, very good. Excellent. I'm very happy. Now, there are other four examples, but we will come back to it if we have time. Otherwise, we will do it in the question answer sessions. Okay, I will be asking you. But going by the two examples that we have seen, I think now everyone would be able to try and do it. So let's finish this presentation and then we will come back, time remaining. Otherwise, we will definitely take up in the question answer sessions. Okay. Which anuyog should be studied first? Very important question. Okay. So Todenwalji says when particularly this question was asked that which anuyog, which exposition should be studied first. Okay. We have all, uh, every student I feel must have some idea that we should read first, we should read this. But it is not the same for everyone. Why? Because mental state of each is different. Time availability is different. Okay, someone has 2 hours at his disposal, someone has 10 minutes, someone has 6 hours, so it will be different for different people. Then the strength and interest also varies. No two people can have same level of interest and strength. Okay, and the intellectual capacity, person who is of less intellectual capacity, he would prefer Pratman Yoga because it is easy to understand, comprehend. And people have all, somebody who is so much into movies, he would like Pratman Yoga. But oh, I can relate because it's my hobby to see movies, right? So different people, different kinds of levels and everything. So we cannot recommend that this should be read first, then this should be read, then this should be read. No, nothing. There is no fixed rule. Depending on the situation you are in, you have to adopt that exposition. Because at the end of the day, all the four exposition leads to what? Passionlessness, vitragata, detachment. Okay, so whichever you adapt doesn't matter, right? We can keep on switching exposition. Supposing you started with Pratman Yoga. Okay, so while you were reading the story about Sita, what Sita did here, Ramchandraji sent him to exile without telling her, and she was pregnant also. So at that time, instead of getting into depression, what Sita did? What Sita applied there? If she was alone, nobody to help, and your husband sending you without telling anything, can you imagine what she would have gone under through? So he started with Pratman Yoga. Okay. So by reading the Pratman Yoga, he got the Pratman Yoga encouraged him that these things are very common to even great personalities also suffer from this. So that is not a big deal. Okay. And then those times doesn't remain permanent. Okay. It comes and goes. So this will also go. This time will also go. Okay. Then while reading this, then you also thought of karmas. Okay, oh, it is my past karmas. Why I'm blaming Ram? Right. So Karnan Yoga, you can switch over to Karnan Yoga. Okay. Then while understanding about the past karmic deeds, past deeds that she has done and the karmas that has come into fruition, contemplating on that, she got into Dravyan Yoga. Oh, nothing has happened. At the soul level, nothing has happened. It's only an object of my knowledge. Okay. So Dravyan Yoga. So this switch over can happen, but while you are switching over, you are still moving in that same direction of Vitragta. So direction doesn't change. Only thing is change the we can say the intensity changes. Of course, Dravyan Yoga is the supreme of all four expositions, but to reach up to Dravyan Yoga, we have to pass through all three expositions, right? So all three expositions job is to get you towards Dravyan Yoga, and then Dravyan Yoga operates the main operation of discriminative knowledge, and you are in happy space, right? But these three exposition help you to get to that level of Dravyan Yoga. Okay. So depending on the situation that you are in, you have to adapt any of the expositions that you are comfortable at that point of time. And then later on, you can switch on. Okay. And there are many scriptures where all the four expositions are exposed. It's not that one scripture will have one exposition only. If you read Tatvat Sutra, except Pratman Yoga, everything is there. All three expositions are there, right? Samaisar Dravyan Yoga is there. So Moksha Marg Prakasak, all the four expositions are there. Okay. And in many Pratman Yoga stories, all the three other expositions are also there, but the proportion may be not that great. So it's all interconnected. Okay. Um, so the final understanding, we come to the final understanding. Before that, the slide before which Yanushak should be studied first. So now you know that depending on the situation, you apply anything. It's all Jinvani. So whatever you apply, immediately it will act as a medicine for you in that situation, and you will feel good. Feeling is very important. You will feel good in that situation, and then with the changing of exposition, you will further progress, and then ultimately getting into Dravyan Yoga and applying discriminative knowledge, you can always realize yourself in that space. Okay. So the problem could be made. So the problem becomes an opportunity. Okay. If that problem would not have been there, we would not have thought of these different expositions. Okay. So the problem becomes an opportunity. Others sees that a problem, but for him is an opportunity. When we see an infliction on monk happening, we feel that, oh, how the monk is suffering. But from the perspective of monk, he feels that this is the best opportunity. Where can I check my strength? How much I can concentrate on myself? Okay. These examinations comes with everyone. The kind of understanding that you develop, there is always an exam coming up in your life. Okay. And never an exam will come that will break you. You will always come out with flying colors. If you apply these principles, you will always come out with these flying colors, and these challenges only come to take you to a different level, more better level. Okay. So all problems are an opportunity. Okay. So any anuyog, any situation, any problem, we are not worried because we have all the 4 expositions with us and we can apply any exposition which we feel like at that point of time and we can solve that problem immediately. Now the final understanding of today's discussion, we have still 15 minutes, but we will discuss this. All 4 exposition operate together, they complement each other. Okay, so in our life also, all the 4 expositions are running together simultaneously. It is only that one moment at a time we discuss only one exposition. But at the same time, other 3 expositions are also there in our knowledge. Although we are not thinking about it, we are not discussing about it, but it is there. So when the need arises, we can just switch over because we know all 4, right? So we can simultaneously collaborate with all the 4 expositions as the need is, and these are all complementing each other. So it takes us into one direction, that is towards passionlessness, detachment, happiness, all this. Even in a single moment, all perspectives can be applied. So how this can apply in a single moment? Single moment means one modification. Okay, so when you connect that modification to a great person's life, it becomes Pratman Yoga. Okay, when you connect that one moment, one modification to the karma theory, it becomes Karna Yoga. When you connect that one moment or one modification with your mind, speech, and body, it becomes Charnan Yoga. And when you connect that to your soul's inherent nature, it becomes Dravyan Yoga. Okay, so in one moment you can apply all the 4 expositions, and uh, no matter what situation you are in, you can always find a way out by applying these 4 perspectives. Okay, now the last point, by applying 4 exposition, one can attain balance in life that ultimately leads to detachment, passionless, and happiness. Okay, so with the study of 4 exposition also, our end result is happiness. Okay, I told you last time or not, I don't remember, there are 7-8 classes going simultaneously, so I forgot what I mentioned here and there, but if it is a repetition, I don't mind. Supposing an equation x plus y is equal to 100. Okay, now suppose x is 60, so y is 40, right? Similarly, you remove that figure 100 and put happiness over there. Okay, and x is the external cause. It could be karma, it could be your association, it could be your environment, it could be your whatever external things which are not in our hand. So x is constant, we cannot do anything over there because it's our past karmas and all. Then happiness is what we want, so that can also be not changed. So we have to do effort where? In y. Okay, we have to apply principles, whatever is required in that situation, we should be ready to apply those, but our ultimate result should be happiness. Okay, so if you understand this equation, you can start practicing immediately, even though we have only just end of the second class, but you can start practicing. This will help you in to more contemplations. Okay, and you will find solutions yourself. Just now Esha and somebody else, who was that, I didn't remember the name,
Chetna.
but Chetna, she gave a very good answer, although she may not have heard about 4 exposition earlier, right? So things are very simple, just little bit of efforts and great difference, great change in our life. Okay, so again we will come back to the examples. 4 examples are left, and we will see that. Now who will try? You were crossing the road and there was an accident. Okay, so at that point of time you have to apply 4 exposition. You putting you in perspective. Okay, so accident has happened to you and you have to apply for exposition in yourself only. Okay, who will try? Voluntarily use, unmute yourself and start. Chandrakant bhai, unmute yourself and try. Pratibha ji, you would try?
Yes, sir.
I'll give
Jai
it a try.
Jinanda. Jai Jinanda.
Yeah.
So this is like accident. So Dravyanu Yog means me. I jeev myself, right?
Hmm.
And then Kandanu Yog, maybe my calculation was not good, right? What speed or something, so this happened.
Hmm.
And then Charnanu Yog means my how I was driving.
No, you were crossing the road and say
Hmm.
scooter was passing and you got an accident from that scooter.
Okay. So so maybe that scooter was not like in good
But
speed or something.
you have to apply in yourself, no?
So that will be Charnanu Yog, right? The other
Charnan
driver
Yog
who
will
was
be like that. You have to see left and right before crossing. You have to
yes.
see that the scooter is in so speed, so he cannot apply brakes immediately. So you could
Mm-hmm.
have stopped. Okay, all these precautions, Charnan
Mm-hmm.
Yog will teach us. Karnan Yog
Mm-hmm.
will tell that it's the rise of your karma. So
Yes.
the
So
accident has happened.
this happened.
Okay.
So mm.
Hmm.
and
And
then
then
the Prathmanu
Pratman,
Yog.
yes.
So this is like beginning. I have to be aware of my surrounding or what, like
No, in Pratman Yog, you will always cite the examples of great personalities. Like there was an accident in Ramchandraji's life,
okay,
Lakshman.
their life also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pratman
Yeah,
Yog.
even
Okay.
yeah, they all have upsurg and
Yeah,
many
yeah,
people troubled them and they
yeah.
got. So
Yes,
this
yes.
happened to me too, right?
Okay, right, right, right.
Okay.
Now, Dravyan Yog?
Davyanu Yog means this happened to me, Jeev. Like I am.
No, it doesn't happen to you. It's happened to the body. You are not the body. You are the
Oh,
soul.
okay, okay. So this happened to my body, not to my soul. So my soul is immortal.
So your soul is immortal and you are only a knower. These things have unfolded in your knowledge and you are
Mm-hmm.
just a knower and you have just, these are just an objects of your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The soul is unsketched.
Yes,
Okay.
nothing happened to the soul.
Yes,
Yes,
nothing happened to the soul.
soul. Yes.
Good, good try.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought ki Pratibha ji from USA, but you are some different, no problem.
No, I am from USA. Yes. Mm.
You are USA, but what I was like, I have a student in Pramagan
Oh,
by the
I'm
name of
sorry.
Pratibha.
So
No,
maybe
no,
I.
I didn't knew it. Okay, no. Anyway, I wanted to ask a new student only, so it is good that you have
Thank
tried.
you, sir. Very good
Yeah.
session. Thank you.
Then one more example. Two, three examples are still left. So we will see depression. Okay. So very World Health Organization report says that out of every three people, one is having depression. It's becoming the one of the major factor nowadays. Mental problems are increasing. There are dearth of psychologists and many problems. So how do we apply for exposition and come out of that depression? Who will try voluntarily?
So this is Pooja. Can I try?
Yeah, 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 sure.
Yeah. So in case of Prathmanu Yog, basically there might be, of course, stories of many people who have gone through difficult times, and basis that they would have experienced certain situations where they would have been depressed. So we can learn from that.
Very good.
Charnanu Yog would be maybe it is a result of the conduct of my certain behavior or
Mhm,
experiences which would have led to I feeling depressed.
mhm,
Karnanu Yog would be, of course, fruitification of my karma,
mhm,
that in the past there would have many been some deeds that I would have done, because of which today I'm experiencing this depression.
Right.
And Dravyanu Yog would be basically Bhed Gyan, that depression is only in the mind, but not in the soul. So that's how I think depression is not happening to me as a jeev, but it's happening to my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So depression is
Yes.
a fallout of the expectations that I have, and that are
Yes.
not being met, because
Ye-
everything is happening independently, right? So
Yes.
there is no way that our expectations will things will work out according to our expectations. So we have to learn to accept the truth,
Yes,
So,
sir.
so
That's right.
that will come under Charnan Yog. Whatever you said that you didn't have friends, you can share with your friends, so depression
Hmm.
doesn't happen, and so that Charnan Yog would be the icebreaker always. So we have to think Charnan Yog. Karnan Yog is very easy. You just simply apply the karma theory.
Karma theory.
You are
That's right, sir.
nobody to blame. It's our own karmas that has come into fruition. And Dravyan
Yes.
Yog, it's just an object of my knowledge. Nothing has happened to me as a soul. I am only a knower, and just I am knowing. So,
That's right.
in reality, that nothing has happened to me. Good, very
Okay, sir.
good try.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely
Thank you so
perfect.
much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Then one more example. Last one we would try, and then suicide would be your homework. Okay, or I'm giving a choice. Whichever one you want to try, try. Who will try? Divorce or suicide? Rohit ji would try. Unmute yourself. Okay, Himali, you try.
Okay,
Divorce.
so
Or which one? Whichever you want.
okay, divorce.
Okay.
So Pratmanu Yoga would say that there would be many, people in the past who've uh, broken up with, people who they've had a close relationship with, and yet they've moved on. They've probably gone on to do better things and achieve liberation. Like uh, um, a lot of our Tirthankars essentially the parting of ways from their family and they went on to achieve liberation. So divorce is nothing but that. Karnanu Yoga would say that, in my because of my past karma, this was the time I had with that person, and those karmas with that person have ended. So we've kind of parted ways. Um, Charnana Yoga would obviously be self introspection, that my conduct was such that, we could not. Kind
Get,
of continue together, and we parted ways. And Zavyana Yoga would say that these attachments are not the attachments of my soul, they are the attachments of Pudgal Zavya, or so
body.
yeah, so this has nothing to do with my Atma, so that would be
Hmm.
Zavyana Yoga.
Good, good, good. So we will see one more example later on after the stuti, and during the question answer sessions, we will see that suicide. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है. 9 times नमोकार मंत्र. बोलो द्वात सांगमयी जिनवाणी माता की जय.